The prankster is a female pony who had been abandoned as a filly in the middle of a saddle Arabian desert with nothing but a note attached to her leg that said, "Please take good care of her." She had almost died of heat stroke, but a strange pony with something like a spaceship found her and took her in. The strange pony called himself the Inquisitor. After the young filly recovered, they became the best of friends, and the Inquisitor named her Care because of the note he found with her. For years, they traveled to many planets, visited different periods of history, and even got captured by space pirates once. The one thing that intrigued the Inquisitor most about Care was her great fondness and talent for pranking and tricking ponies. It was pranks that she played that got them in and out of different situations, and her pranks even saved their lives a couple of times. On Care's 17th birthday, the Inquisitor gave her a Time Lord outfit with a helmet. It suited her perfectly. One day, the Inquisitor decided to give Care a tour of Gallifrey, as she'd always begged to see it. So they arrived at the Inquisitor's home planet in his TARDIS called the Wanderer. But just as they exited the Wanderer, two Time Lord guard ponies grabbed the Inquisitor and dragged him away, not noticing his friend and companion. Care, scared and deeply concerned for her friend's life, secretly and silently followed the guard ponies until they reached the tallest tower in that part of Gallifrey, the Tower of the Time Lord High Council. After slipping inside and past a few more guards, Care finally found the room that the Inquisitor was being held in. She took out some fireworks, or firecrackers, out of the pocket of her outfit and lit them, then galloped into the room, grabbed the Inquisitor, threw the fireworks, and dashed out with her friend. There was a huge explosion behind them as the fireworks set off and blew up the computers and other machinery in the room. The Inquisitor tried yelling something to Care, but she couldn't hear him over the loud noise. Finally, they made it to the Wanderer, and she tried to shove him inside, but he stopped her. Confused, she asked what was wrong. The Inquisitor explained to her that he was arrested by the Time Lord High Council for crimes that he had committed right before he had found her. He told her that he was going to be in prison on Gallifrey for 200 years for the bad things he had done, and he deserved the punishment he would get. Care, shocked, confused, and discouraged, argued that she wouldn't be alive in 200 years, and she would never see him again if the Time Lords took him away from her. The Inquisitor smiled sadly and hugged her, stroking her mane with his hoof, and he said that everything would be fine. They had had their time together, but he had done horrible things in the past, and he had to pay for them then. One of the Time Lord guards suddenly spotted the two ponies and quietly took out a ray gun device and aimed it at Care. The Inquisitor looked up, seeing the guard in time, and in a rapid movement, placed himself protectively in front of Care just as the guard fired. Care said nothing, her jaw dropping with shock as the Inquisitor took the shot. She winced as the guard shot again and the Inquisitor was down. Taking him up in her arms, she begged him not to die. He could regenerate, right? He was a Time Lord. But the two shots were fatal, and Care's best friend, the only pony in the entire universe who cared for her, died in her arms right then and there. Then, something in Care's mind snapped. She felt a pain and rage she had never experienced before in her whole life. She galloped into the Wanderer and, taking the controls, went ballistic. The Inquisitor's TARDIS was not like the Doctor's Type 40 TARDIS. It was a much newer and improved version, a Type 55, which was more of a Time Lord war machine. After years of studying the Inquisitor, flying and using the TARDIS, Care knew exactly what to do. The city of Gallifrey was in a panic as the TARDIS turned into a flying killing machine, destroying buildings, collapsing bridges, and even killing some of the citizens of the city. Finally, she accidentally crashed the Wanderer into one of the buildings and was immediately captured and held for trial. In court, the Time Lord High Council decided that her punishment for attacking Gallifrey would be eternal imprisonment alone and secluded in a pocket antimatter world. She would not be able to escape, and she would be stuck there until the end of time itself, as the antimatter world would not allow her to age or die at all, and any injuries inflicted would heal in a matter of seconds. And ever since then, the prankster has been trapped inside her dimension. After grieving for a while, she found out that she could create things out of thin air in the pocket dimension, and soon adopted the new name, the Prankster. She spends her time keeping herself amused by playing tricks on unlucky ponies or other creatures that happen to stumble upon her little world, and putting them through tests that will have fatal consequences, until she gets bored with them and kicks them out of her world. One of the strangest things is her personality. She is over thousands of years old, her original age being 17, but she has the personality of one very, very immature with childish qualities. But one thing is for certain. If the two lords, Time Lord, were even vaguely mentioned, the prankster would feel that same rage and pain. I wouldn't mention Time Lords or Gallop Frey in her presence if I were you.